So occult and mysticism, it can become, to some degree or to a large degree, very negative based on or very positive based on the observer who is observing that technology and putting it together. Because, the world, the occult, the subconscious, all of it is just the unconscious realm, the things that we don't see. Because, most people live their lives within the realm of reality of them living inside, not looking out. While some people who are deeply into the subconscious and understand the unconscious realm look at it like they live from the outside and they are looking in to the people that live on the inside of the realm, but the people that are not able to create a mind that is outside of the space and time so they can actually understand what's going on in other people's minds. Meaning that it may give you this larger scope of awareness, this larger scope of reality, but this is what we have access to anyways as spirits. But sometimes we access this occult, esoteric energy subconsciously and things like that via understanding and looking at what we are doing inside of our own yin realm, what we are doing inside of our own realm, and trying to relate that to the external realm of reality. And based on that, other people are going to be doing those very same things, but just in their own way. But studying the occult and studying mysticism, because again, like, really, this is what creates this mysticism, occultism, is basically just like data that creates your physical matter and things like that. And so we are already inside of this realm that is composed of these different energies and things like that. Even from a scientific perspective, liquid, solid, and gas. I used to break it down from a scientific perspective of things like that, because a lot of these things were first thought forms, things that we felt as spirits and souls and things like that became kind of liquid. They became kind of like water, gas, like chlorophyll, rivers, blood, gray matter, brain matter, all types of different shit. And then it became a solid physical vehicle that we can actually, that we calculated, shaped, and formed so we can live this life. But it kind of happened over time. So you can even see the narrative of evolution is correct to a degree, but you gotta understand the spiritual aspect of it, because we're just building a body based on being in this realm and dimension to suit our, which is just basically really just reflects our spiritual mental evolution and the progress it takes to build this type of vehicle for us to experience the reality to a larger magnitude, or to be able to do more in this third dimension. But everything that we do in the third dimension really comes from spiritual dimensions, spiritual planes that we already exist on. It's things that we already do there that reflect on here and things like that. But studying the occult and studying mysticism, it can go wrong because certain individuals don't really want to live life. They want to kind of sit back and just learn life and kind of debate, argue, and talk about it, instead of actually going and living life. And this what can create this kind of like witch wizard energy that kind of goes wrong, because you kind of think you know more than other people, but it's really like your experiences in life that are going to teach you a lot of things, because you are here to go through experiences, because then those experiences will take you through some kind of alignment, whether it's a harmonious alignment, whether it's an opposing alignment, or whether it's an alignment that created an opportunity for you, or a learning opportunity and things like that. That situation is going to teach you something about your current mental form and your current capabilities within that circumstance, and what you should do and what you shouldn't do in the next circumstance, versus you kind of being too wise and too smart to participate in life. Because this is a mistake that I made in my other lifetimes and things like that, where I would just kind of sit back and not participate in life just based on having a natural large understanding of the occult and mysticism and how the world is ran and things like that. And when you know a lot of these things, it can really make you not want to participate with society and with the world. Because think about it, now that you have this big burden of reality, of knowing things that the average person doesn't even know, then it puts you in this space where you're overwhelmed, where you feel like it's beyond your control. And that's the thing, we're not trying to control nothing, we're just trying to manage what we got to the best of our degree. Because if you don't manage what you got sufficiently and efficiently, then you don't graduate to the next level, which is you being able to manage even a greater scope of energies and resources and things like that. Down to even the universe that we're in. There's a being that is aware, that manages this universe, not directly, indirectly. Like, you don't necessarily tell your heart how to pump and when to pump. You manages your heart indirectly. Like, all you do is become aware and kind of like distribute your energy in a way. You're just an automated organism. And so with us being automated organisms, there's certain obstacles that are stopping us from expanding and contracting and things like that. You might have certain emotions that are stopping your contraction, that are stopping your process and things like that. And you might call that emotion the devil. Oh, this demon's after me. And you might let another man's or woman's forms of reality that they put in front of you to scare you from your internal reality, stop you from going within and dealing with that thing that's going on within, and getting you lost in some external shape and form so you can continue to charge someone else's matrix. So this is like someone else's esoteric energy about what goes on exoterically. And that can get people lost, from the real shadow work and things like that. But when you understand what that's based upon, like Christianity, Islam, all these different religions, you start to see, oh, okay, so these are just different energies that we all deal with based on our relative position within the space and time continuum. And sometimes we don't learn to deal with these energies sufficiently, so we start to create and deify this form outside of us and give it all this power. But really, we kind of created this form to give up our power to willingly, while we really shouldn't be doing that, because now we're not taking responsibilities for our problems, and we're allowing another man and woman system to rule over our mind, and that's them kind of using the esoteric energy that they understand exoterically in a bad way. But for people that are studying the occult and mysticism, you can learn about all this esoteric energy for you not to do any exoteric shit from a high degree of application. Like, for example, like, you don't want to necessarily say, oh, okay, my boss is going to get karma for doing X and Y, Z to me. You want to be able to put yourself in a position where you know how to deal with that circumstance sufficiently to the point that whatever your boss's mental disposition is, you're able to deal with that sufficiently, and that doesn't mess with your mind, doesn't mess with what you need to get from your job as far as a salary or whatever, for you to do what you really want to do. So that's where it's kind of dangerous, because some people will sometimes even, like, after learning a lot of this information, some people will lock themselves in the closet and don't come out for like a while. Not just physically, but also mentally. You can lock yourself up in that mental space and never come out of that space, based on you thinking like, okay, I need to hide from the world, the end of the world is coming. Just playing out mental narratives that don't necessarily let you actually transmute inside and outside at the same time. You just kind of give up. It's based on the narrative that's being presented. But when you really understand this esoteric, this occult shit, you start to see that, okay, so there's just a bigger game being at play. And if I understand the subconscious, unconscious game, because you gotta understand that is the programmable matter itself, that we use as spirits observing this reality to program that particular matter in the particular spectrum of energy. And through that wheel that we've observed from our relative position, because we're inside of a wheel, basically. This creates a life experience, basically. And, this is just one of the many verses that are out there. There's so many different verses. There's so many different six-dimensional beings that you can go into to become a third-dimensional being like we are right now. But based on us getting lost in this worship energy, in this fear, doubt, and unbelief type of energy, because even when you find out the truth, so what? Then what do you even do about it, right? Well, then what you got to do is create a solution that allows you to live within your truth in this reality, so you can be harmonious and not have some kind of cognitive dissonance, almost, where you're kind of like distancing yourself from reality on purpose, based on you not understanding how to go about your mentality. You want to have a sufficient enough way to do that, so you can still participate in life, but now you're participating and now you're writing and creating your own terms and conditions. You're not necessarily giving up to the shadow government program, to the man-made program. Now you're going about and you're creating your own program, because now you understand, okay, I'm the script writer, and I don't necessarily need to run away from all this occult, subconscious stuff, because that's the information, that's the data that makes up life, and this matter, that this dirt suit that we're in. You want to be able to deal with those things sufficiently. You want to be able to optimize your life for understanding yourself, because that's why you study the occult, because you want to know yourself. You want to understand what goes on as above, so below. You want to understand the first dimension to the ninth, all the way till the ninth dimension. You want to understand all this is the zodiac wheel, the Mazaruth, so you can start to put in the two and two together and understand how these Jews be encapsulating energies and making us believe like they're representations of what goes on esoterically is what we need to go about in their way exoterically, so we can stop getting lost in this harvester, harbinger type of system, so we can start to begin to create our own system. But it all starts with us not getting lost in the negativity of reality, because negativity is like subjectivity, because when you look at negativity, you're really just looking at someone else's form of subjectivity that manifests as objectivity, exoteric shit that may be perceived as negative to you. But that's just the nature of reality. Everyone got their own relative position within the space and time continuum. And when you're able to understand this wheel of life, what goes around comes around, and all these different sayings, you're able to see that, okay, no one is really like good or evil. People are just people are just living life or trying to figure things out from their own perspective, and you don't have to necessarily be mad at them for that. We're all really trying to reach the same point, but we're always trying to get there in different ways. Like, we all got born out of our mama's pussies, but we got born through our mama's pussies with a different genetic makeup, different geographical location, different time, different just all of it was different, but we all wanted to get born, right? But the subjectivity that made up our mind is different than other people. So we have a different makeup entirely. So we don't have to get mad about it. We just have to understand it. Be like, okay, this person has this relative position, this person has that relative position. Because if everyone was the same person, then you wouldn't necessarily kind of learn anything. If everyone had the same perspective, you wouldn't necessarily learn much. You would kind of degenerate almost, because it's like, what's the point of living life if everyone is going to reach the same beginning and ending, and there's no point. But it's like we're all getting there just from different like angles. We're all creating different types of buildings, we're all creating different types of malls, we're all creating different type of marketplaces and things like that. That's why universally at every kingdom there's always a marketplace, and you don't even need to that idea didn't come from no particular place. The idea of religion didn't come from no particular place. This is just what humanity does naturally. is take some esoteric shit, turn it into some exoteric shit, down to even just you planting a plant, growing some fruits from it, and selling it off. That's like, that translates even to the idea of religion from the perspective of, you planting an idea or a feeling and letting that bloom into some kind of logical construct or some type of feeling that can help assist others, and you selling it in the marketplace in the form of, products, services, and information that can assist someone else more than it assists yourself. So all this to say is that, we all have different forms of subjectivity, esoteric, and we all have different ways of exoteric. So let's not get lost in how the mind receives information, how the mind chooses to express its information. The more aware you are of this process, the more you can, create a reality around it, create a life that is more harmonious, so you don't get too lost on the polar shift. I'm sorry, guys. So someone's bedtime for me, anyways. But yeah, I'm gonna go to sleep still. I got some more things to do, and that's it for this video. That's it for this video.